16th, 2021 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. At this time, I request that everyone please turn off or mute all electronic devices. I would also at this time, and turn off the dogs. Also at this time, I would ask everyone to please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Applications for conditional use permit requests and rezoning requests will be heard during tonight's meeting, and the commission will vote on these applications and make a recommendation to the county council. The applications will then be scheduled to be introduced before the county council at the Monday, July 12th, 2021 county council meeting. Public comment for conditional use permit requests will be taken during tonight's meeting and at the council meeting on Monday, July 12th, 2021. Public comment on conditional use permit applications will not be taken at any meeting of the county council held thereafter. The following documents are introduced as a matter of record for this evening's public hearing and regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Those documents are the Unified Development Ordinance of St. Charles County, including zoning maps, and the year 2030 Master Plan for St. Charles County, which includes the year 2030 Future Land Use Plan map. I see that we have a quorum. Is there a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Okay. Changes to our agenda. If anyone is here for, this is RZ 21-08, rezoning request on North Point Prairie Road, and CUP 21-08, a conditional use permit at the same location on North Point Prairie Road. The applicant has requested that that be continued until the July meeting. So those will not be heard for this evening. A little background how we run the meeting. I will read into the record the application. Then we will ask the staff for their report, at which time any of the commissioners may have a question or two for the staff. Then we'll ask the applicant to come forward to present their application, answer any questions that the commissioners may have. Then we will have a public hearing. Anyone here wishing to speak regarding the application can come forward and speak. Once the public hearing is closed, we will take no more comments from the public. We will ask the applicant to come back, address any concerns that may have come up as part of the public hearing, and then the commission will consider the application and take a vote, which will be our recommendation to the county council. If you are going to speak, these white cards that are located right here on the end of the table, please fill one of these out. Put it in the little box. This ensures that we get your name and address correct in our minutes. Okay. The first item on the agenda is conditional use permit request, CUP 21-09, located at 5055 North Highway 94 and Main Street. The property owner is Jim Malaville for Two Rivers AG LLC. The applicant is Wayne Boschert for Boschert Brothers Storage LLC. The current zoning is I-1 Light Industrial District. Conditional use requests, there are two. The first is an outdoor storage yard for automobiles, boats, trucks, trailers, and recreational vehicles. And the second conditional use permit request is a landscape contracting service. The parcel size is 5.47 acres. The location is on the western terminus of Main Street in Orchard Farm. It's located in Council District 6. Staff.
All right, as mentioned, this property is located at the end of Main Street on the west side there. It does involve 6 separate properties. They start right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is actually 2 separate properties. The 6 properties are all zoned light industrial, as are quite a few of the parcels along Main Street. These parcels have been actively used as, for the light industrial purpose, located along the railroad tracks. Staff has also been presented, and we are showing their concept plan. For the first application, the outdoor storage, that will take place on these lower parcels here and stretch around to the west and the north side there. The landscape applicant will be located in one of the buildings located closer to the residences with their storage yard and their parking right here. On the first one with the outdoor storage, these are located right south of residences, so there is a nice landscape plan along the south side there, the north side of their property, but blocking that view from the residences there. And then the landscape company similarly has landscaping along the eastern side, blocking their view from the residences. Staff has looked at the use of the property in the past. It was co-op. Again, as mentioned, it's located along the railroad track. The reason these are conditional uses is because mostly of the outdoor storage of materials. In the first case, it would be the outdoor storage of the RVs and the boats. And in the second case, it's any equipment that the landscape company would be storing there on the property. So with the first application, the outdoor storage, staff is recommending that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of this use. And I can go ahead with the second one. Also, staff is also recommending that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of that use also.
Okay. Were there any letters?
We have 3 letters of support, and then we have a letter of comment.
Okay.
Typically, within 24 hours of the hearing, it will be introduced to the council, any other letters that we receive, but I will make you aware that we have received comments.
And for the record, and to be made part of the record, is written comments from Mr. Dinoff regarding all the applications being considered this evening. So that'll be part of the record. Any questions for staff? Seeing none, I ask the applicant to come forward. You solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much. My name is Larry Walker. I'm with Bax Engineering, 221 Point West Boulevard, St. Charles, Missouri, 63301. Here tonight for this application, also with family members of the Boschert family for this application. Hopefully we can answer any questions that you may have. As mentioned, the property is the Orchard Farm area on Main Street, just west of the terminus of Main Street, and there's a little section of that in the dark gray area on the screen that is actually just south of the Main Street in Orchard Farm.
Excuse me, Larry.
Yes.
Since we'll need to take 2 votes, so why don't you hear this one just address the landscape company?
Okay, the landscape company.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. The landscape company, it may be a little difficult to see, but the northeastern part of this property with the green, there was a green border around there, but once we added the green, it was a little more difficult to see. I think it's easier on your packet. That piece of property that they're I wouldn't say creating, that area is approximately about 0.91 acres for a proposed landscape company. As Ms. Marr mentioned, for the storage component of that, materials, maybe work vehicles, equipment, that type of thing, we are needing a conditional use for that. The family is planning on leasing that, so they will own all the properties. We're going to lease that to a potential landscape company for that purpose. So again, that zoning is existing, as is all of this property, light industrial to the east. I think there's about 400 acres of light industrial to the south of all this. There is some to the north of this particular parcel, the 0.9 acres, and just to the west of that on the north side, there is residential zoning right there on that open field that you'll see on the screen. So I think for that particular application, if there's any questions, be more than happy to try to answer those.
Anybody have any questions? This would be the conditional use permit for the landscaping contracting service. Okay. Hearing none? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now you can.
Oh, we're going to totally separate them? Okay.
You have to sit down, Larry. Now we'll open the public hearing for CUP 21-09. This is a conditional use permit granting a landscaping contracting service on property located at the west terminus of Main Street and Orchard Farm, and the property is currently zoned I-1 Light Industrial. Anyone here wishing to speak regarding this conditional use permit? Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, the public hearing's closed. Ask the applicant to come back. You can come back now, Larry. Anyone have any questions for the applicant? No. Okay, none, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll bring this back to the commission for consideration
Motion to approve CUP 2109A.
per recommendations by staff.
Second.
Mr. Hollander made the second. Mr. Cleary, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Sally, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Cornwall?
Yes.
Ms. Marr?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes. Now we will consider CUP 21-09B, which is the request for outdoor storage yard for automobiles, boats, trucks, trailers, and recreational vehicles. And you're already sworn in, so, well, we'll ask. We've already given staff's report, so go ahead.
Hey, thank you very much. Again, for the record, my name is Larry Walker, Bax Engineering, here tonight for this application. This conditional use request is for the outdoor storage component. This facility will actually have indoor and outdoor storage. The site will be utilized the way it exists today. It's I would say 95% developed. It has existing structures, existing canopy area, existing gravel lot. There is a portion on the eastern side that still is unimproved in respect that there will have to be some gravel added for that storage area down there. So there will be outdoor storage of boats, trailers, RVs, jet skis, that type of thing. And there will also be an indoor storage component of this as well. I do want to note that as of just a couple days ago, the Boshards have purchased the property, so they have purchased the property. They do own this as of, I think, just a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. And we are also, as Ms. Marr noted, once we go through the whole review process, there will be a little bit of screening that'll be needing to take place on the south side of Main Street, because there is, I think, one house that remains that is industrial zone, but I think it may be a residence. I'm not 100% on that. I think they're rehabbing that house right now. But all those zonings are light industrial through that corridor. We do have the residential zoning just to the north of this parcel. We'll note that there will be fencing for security, automatic gate with the keypad for 24/7 access, lighting for security reasons if it is after in the evening and at the nighttime. Of course, that will all meet county requirements for lighting and being downcast and not, shining in the neighbor's eyes. Traffic for these facilities is usually, I said, they're quite low, actually, for a facility of this size. Manuals that I've seen, call for possibly 15 trips a day. I think in my analysis, I said 15 to 20 trips a day, just to be fair. So traffic's fairly low speeds. There will be automatic gates for access and entry, lighting, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have about this particular CUP.
Stormwater runoff.
Stormwater runoff, for the majority of the western site, it's all existing. I mean, are you asking what we're planning on doing to control that, or, I mean, there really isn't a change per se, because the area so flat, floodplain, a lot of this just drains down to that railroad right-of-way. For the new development, as we go through staff review, when I say new, I just mean the eastern portion where we have all our new gravel, we likely will have a little stormwater control area there for the new, but the existing, we don't plan on any changes. There's no grading changes, just cleaning it up and using it as is.
Will that meet the new standards?
Well, for the new standards, depending on how they interpret everything for existing conditions versus proposed. So since we're leaving things as existing, I'm working through some of the new standards. We're kind of working together back and forth as we speak, because it's kind of fresh to everybody. But in my eyes, if it's all existing and they're just going to utilize it the way it is, there really wouldn't be any improvements that would be made, except for maybe on the portion that doesn't have any gravel on the eastern part.
Okay.
We would have to address that, of course.
Any questions for the applicant?
So the area is going to be lit at night?
Correct.
So I don't imagine it's an issue, but I'm just thinking with the railroad going there, is that kind of lighting in some way going to interfere with, their visual approach to that highway crossing, things like that? I mean, is there anything that needs to be considered on that?
I'm sure staff will look at that, but in my opinion, no, just due to the fact of the downcast lighting that we use these days rather than, like floodlights and that. The crossings, I guess there's one out on Highway 94. There may be a farm crossing or something somewhere else, but there's no actual street crossings or anything like that. And the light levels that we would have to have at the southern property line, which abut the railroad, I don't see that as an issue or a problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none? Okay, thank you, sir. We will now open the public hearing for CUP 21-09 B, which is an outdoor storage yard for automobiles, boats, trucks, trailers, and recreational vehicles, located at the western terminus of Main Street and Orchard Farm. Anyone here wishing to speak regarding this application for this CUP? Anyone? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. Ask the applicant to come back. Anyone have any additional questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you, sir. We'll bring this application back to the commission for consideration. The chair will entertain a motion to approve application CUP 21-09B, which is an outdoor storage yard for automobiles, boats, trucks, trailers, and recreational vehicles. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Cornwell's the second. Okay, Ms. Sally, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Clary?
Yes?
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Mr. Cornwell?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Hollander?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Application passes.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is application RZ 21-10. The location, it's a rezoning request at 4688 Washon Road. Property owner applicant is Russell N. Steinoff and Dana Michelle Steinoff. Current zoning is I-2 Heavy Industrial District with Floodway Fringe Overlay District. Requested zoning is A Agricultural District with Floodway Fringe Overlay District. The 2030 Master Plan recommends agricultural uses. The parcel size is 5 acres of a 101-acre parcel. Location is on the east side of Washington Road, approximately 1,500 feet north of Highway B, near the city of St. Charles. This is located in Council District 6. Staff.
All right, this property is located, it's right here, actually. It's right to the north of 4650. As mentioned, all of these properties are zoned heavy industrial. There is some floodway fringe. The applicant actually applied for a letter of map revision based on fill, to place fill on this property and prep for the future residents. That application has already taken place, separate from any zoning approval. It came to our attention when they actually started to apply for their building permit. Staff recognized that there are some areas that we still have in this heavy industrial zoning. It dates back to the original concept of zoning in 1959. With the expectation that it would develop as an industrial area close to railroad tracks again. You'll see some agricultural zoning there that dates back to 2006 when the county did put out a request to these heavy industrial properties offering to rezone to agricultural without any further consideration. It was voted through. The reason these were in was because they were already existing as residences. So consequently, this area just got overlooked in terms of its zoning. So staff is recommending that it go back to the agricultural use. The land use does call for agricultural use for this whole area, and a residence would not be able to be built in the heavy industrial zoning. So that floodway fringe that you saw on there, the house will be outside of that. The fill has already removed that area from the floodplain. So staff is recommending that this rezoning request from I-2 with floodway fringe overlay to agricultural with floodway fringe overlay be recommended for approval.
But this is just for
5 acres.
5 acres. The other 95 will still be heavy industrial.
Correct.
Any other questions for staff?
So when they bring it out of floodplain, is it just the footprint of the building and its improvements, or is that the entire 5 acres?
No, they didn't pull the whole 5 acres. What they do is, and the engineer can probably explain a little bit more also, but they work with, as a floodplain administrator, they work with us to have a plateau area.
I see.
It only has to be at the base flood elevation. Typically, they go higher to allow for all of the compacting and the settling with 3-to-1 slopes. So I don't know exactly how much. It's definitely not 5 acres, but in this particular case, I believe they had to go up about 4 feet, maybe 4 to 5 feet. Again, the engineer could probably remember it more than I can. It's already been approved by FEMA. Once it's removed, they have a meets and bounds of that area that's removed. Then the house can go in and go back in with its foundation going down into the soil, the original soil.
Gotcha.
And having a basement if they prefer. They just cannot disturb that upper plateau and that meets and bounds area that's
Gotcha.
removed.
Does FEMA have to, do you know if FEMA has to do a letter of revision on that area then, or some sort of replatting of that area?
They don't, FEMA doesn't do, is that what you asked?
Yeah,
FEMA?
the area
Yeah,
that's
FEMA will not map that. What they do is they issue a statement. It's on the official map center for FEMA. You can pull up that document. The county has a document. We upload it to their file, so it's in there. Also, ArcGIS, it's not on there for the public, but our department GIS, we've been uploading elevation certificates and information like this so that it is available, more readily for that type of use.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was just thinking in terms of if it is improved, that's the kind of thing for any kind of mortgage company is going to need to have that kind of documentation for the owner to, for
Right.
their benefit to
Right.
have that.
Right, they will provide that with their mortgage
Gotcha.
documents when they close.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Seeing none, we'll ask the applicant to come forward. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Russell Steinoff, 4 Kelso Drive, St. Charles.
Okay, go ahead, Russell.
I'm going to be the future homeowner. I'm a farmer on the adjacent property. Mom and Dad own the farm. Yeah, we started filling, and to your question, the 442 is as I understand it, the base flood elevation, and if you're above that, you're out of the insurance issue. Below that, you're forced to.
Any, like 1 or 2 feet above freeboard or something like that?
I plan on setting my height of my foundation at 447. I have a map here that says the very crest of my plateau is at 447. So I didn't want to leave while
Right.
you're
No,
doing
that
it.
sounds like
You want to get way out of it. So I should be 3 foot above the 93 flood, or the 2019 flood, probably. I put about 6.5 foot of fill
Gotcha.
in. So it's, I'll be the highest one around in that vicinity.
Okay, thank
So,
yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Okay.
We will now open the public hearing for application RZ 21-10. Anyone here wishing to speak regarding this application? Yes, sir. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings or under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Larry Kleesner. I reside at 4768 Washan Road, which is just a quarter of a mile north of the parcel in question.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
And I'm here to express my support and request your approval of this application. I think it's the most positive move for our area.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to speak regarding application RZ 21-10? You solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in these proceedings under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Don Boschert. I reside at 5145 Blaze Station Road.
Okay,
St.
go ahead.
Charles. I live right about a mile and a half from this parcel, and I approve of the house going in and on the 5 acres.
Thank you, sir.
There's a Boschert at every corner. That's nothing. It's spectacular.
And a couple of parks.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. Anyone have any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to approve application RZ 21-10. Is there a motion?
So, make a motion.
Mr. Clary makes a motion. Is there a second? Second. I'll give that to Mr. Cornwell. Mr. Hollander, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Ms. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Sally?
Yes.
Mr. Cornwell?
Yes.
Mr. Cleary?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Application passes. Thank you.
Are
Okay.
you related to Gene Steinhoff by chance? Of course.
The next item on our agenda is approval of the minutes of the May 19th, 2021 regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Hollander, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Barr. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Okay. I did, let's see here. Any division updates?
There are no division updates for this evening.
Okay. I do have here, Ellie and Brian.
Just want to point out, you folks are free to go.
Yeah, you're free to
The rest
go.
of this is
Yeah,
just
we're,
pretty
like seeing
mundane.
you, Doug.
There's rules here. You don't want to, you want to hang around and listen, but
did you give
you're
one?
not going to learn anything.
Yeah. This is proposed, it would end up being a resolution where we would establish Robert's Rules of Order as how we conduct the meeting, and then guidelines on how we would conduct public hearings. So I've taken this from the procedure that the county council uses and now the Port Authority. Now, the one big difference is the county council and the Port Authority, by statute, they have a period of public comment, okay? And you can put far more restrictions on public comment than a public hearing, and what we have is public hearing. So we can do some restrictions. There is no state statute, even though one of our normal participants here thinks there is. There is no state statute that defines what a public hearing has said. Court of Appeals, in like 3 different cases, have said there is no statute that defines it. We have to look to dictionary. They basically say we have to give an opportunity for people to speak at a public hearing, but we can restrict the time and the number of people, et cetera, based on logistical considerations at that hearing. So if you would, look over this. If you've got any comments, you can email them to me or email them to Sheila, and she'll collect them. And then we will forward that down to the county counselor's office for their review, and then hopefully get this on the agenda for July. And then we'll have some rules. So,
Sounds good.
anyone have anything else?
Thank you for putting that together.
Oh, well, I'm a typical attorney. I plagiarized most of it. Yeah. I'll send you a copy, like, if you want me to.
Catch.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else to be considered? Seeing no responses, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second? All those in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Um,